So have you tried yesterday's example? Right? We designed one example shopping. Have you tried that small task I given? You able to do it? I given the task to design total, right? Of cart. Have you tried that? Anybody able to do it successfully? If you have done that, you can post that into classroom so that I will check. I will enable posting into classroom. You post the screenshot and the code that you have designed so that I can see. Okay. Right. Right. So last session we learned about how to use and how do we work with that. Shopping. Okay. So last session we learned about how to deal with the APIs and how do we work with the APIs. Now, after understanding working with API, actually our concept is structural directives. In structural directives, we learned ngIf, ngSwitch, and ngFor. In ngFor, so many attributes are there. ngFor related properties are present. ngFor have properties. We have properties. What are the properties we are having? One is index. Another one we have first, last, even, odd, and there is an option called track by. Index is actually it returns iterating item index number. It returns the iterating item index number. First, it returns true if item is at first occurrence. Last, that means it returns true if item is at the last occurrence. Last occurrence means it is the last item. Even it returns true if item is at even occurrence. What is the purpose of even occurrence? I will tell you. It returns true if item is at odd occurrence. And it tracks, it is a function pointer that tracks the changes in iteration. That is the point. So these are the properties of ngFor. Yesterday we saw how to use index. In yesterday's example, we have that index. In yesterday example, what we done? We used the index property for ngFor. So index property is going to return the index number. Based on that, we can perform operations like delete. We designed this example yesterday. User can select a category and the category related products will come. And user can add a product. The product will be added into the cart. User can view and user can delete the product. This deleting of product we done based on index option. Now similarly, you have the options called even and odd. Actually, even and odd are nothing but even, odd, first, last. They are used to apply some effects. For example, for that we need to use one more option. I will show you. For example, suppose when we are iterating, all items look similar. To change the appearance, we use this even, odd, first, last. For example, see, I will go to for demo. In the for demo, or I will create here another component, ng generate component for properties. Skip this. I am creating a component called for properties, and here I will keep it in the startup. So it is for properties component. Let's keep in the startup. So we have for properties. So we have for properties, and this is for properties working. Now let's design some data. Let's go to for properties, and here we will present some data. I will do one thing. What we will do is we will create a property called products. It is any type of array. Now, when component initialized, we will load some products. On initialization, we will use a fetch http://fakestoreapi.com/what products. We will use then and response.json. We will use then data. We will assign this data to products. This dot products equal to data. Now we have all the products information. We will print in a tabular form. In HTML page, I want to present that here. I will put a div class container fluid. Here we will put a heading products table. In that we have a table. Let's create a table header. This is table and table hover. And in the table we have head, tr, th. Here I given a ID and another I given some title, and I given some price. Okay. Here I want to generate a body. The row should repeat ng for let item of collection is products. For every item, first cell contains item.id. Second cell contains item.title. Third cell contains item.price. We have these details. Now, when you see here, all the products will come. Actually, the row is repeating here. When a row is repeating, what happens is it will look everywhere same. But if any item is repeating, I want its appearance different, not looking like same. That means you see, for example, I will show you. Suppose this is PowerPoint. In PowerPoint, we will insert a table. there is a table option. Here I will select some rows and columns, and you see every row is different color, alternate, even colors different, odd colors different. Because if an item is repeating and everywhere it looks same, that's not pleasing in appearance. Then what you can do is, we can identify which one is first, which one is last, and which one is even, odd. Based on that, we can apply some effects. Actually, what we have to do is, later we will learn about style concept. See, we will go to here properties in this products. Here we will declare semicolon. We will create let I is equal to index. Let sum O is equal to odd. Let E is equal to even. So let F is equal to first. Let L is equal to last. These are all the properties available. I am writing these to just show you what they written, right? You see, now I will try to print them. I will give a heading. So one is odd, another heading is even, another heading is first, another heading is last. I will keep a cell here. We will keep a cell TD. Okay. We will keep a cell here. Here I will display I, which will return the index. Another cell we will display O, which will display odd. Another cell we will display E. It will display even. Here I will add heading index also. And we have another cell that is so F is for displaying first, and another we have L is to display last. Now you can see all these are displayed true, false. Index is a number. Index is a number, and 0, 1, 2, 3. Odd, it is false because it is 0. Odd is even is true. It is first, true. It is not last, so it is false. So the question is, why we need them? Why we need to know whether it is even or odd? To apply some effects. Already index we saw yesterday. Why we need index? We need index to identify which item they clicked, so that we can delete that item, display that item and all. So here, why we need these? See, what you can do is, here we can define this row is repeating. When row is repeating, for this row, I will use a class. The class is actually class name. Which class you want to apply? Class is a CSS class. Which class I want to apply? Suppose I want to apply the class called BG, suppose dark. Okay, I want to apply this BG dark for whom? I want to apply for odd occurrence. That means actually we use O. O is for odd occurrence, which gets odd occurrence true or false. Here you see some effects not there. Why? Because we need to apply the class dynamically. To apply the class dynamically, we have a directive called ng class. ng class is Angular class. That means we are applying a class dynamically. Why to apply class dynamically? I will tell you. Next example also we will see. As of now, what this ng class is doing, ng class have to apply effects. What is the purpose? What is difference between class and ng class? Class will apply a standard class, but ng class can change. Depending on the situation, it can change the class. We call it as an attribute directive. It is an attribute directive. How it will change? It uses, ng class uses an object style. This is object style. In that object, you have to mention class name. So you can create a CSS class and you can apply that class, or you can use bootstrap classes which already we have. Bootstrap classes are ready-made classes. We already know that. We can create our own classes. Let's see. I will go to for properties CSS file. Here I will create a class called odd style. Odd style, I will put a background color, some aquamarine. That is the background color. That is background color. Similarly, I am using another class, even style. Even style. For this background color, I will keep a background color like some light, any color is there. So suppose I said some dark gray or some color I am giving here. So let's say salmon, like this I am giving. Now what happens is, old style, odd style must display to odd occurrence. Even style must display to even occurrence. So here we have to write ng class. In that ng class, we have to simply first tell the class name. Class name is odd style. We have to pass a boolean value, true or false. True or false. That true or false comes from O. That means O returns true when it is odd. That means if the row is in odd place, then this odd style will apply. How it knows that it is in odd place? By using this O. What is the O? O is nothing but odd reference. You can give any name, right? But remember, O is your own name and odd is a ready-made property available. It is a predefined property. Okay, now you see here. Similarly, second one, comma, another style. What is it? Even style. To which occurrence it should apply? If it is E. Now you can see your table have a different appearance now. That means for odd occurrences, one style. For even occurrences, another style. I just applied only background color. You can apply background, foreground, border, anything you want. Any effect you can apply. It's a CSS class. Now, if I want a different effect for first, a different effect for last, right? For first and last. In that case, what we can do? We can create other classes. For example, I say first style. So background color, I will give some red. And I will keep color as white. Similarly, I will give last style. Last style, background color as some blue. And color as what? White. And you can see here, I want to apply them. Then you have to go to class, you have to add those also. What is it? First style. First style we have to get from F. Similarly, last style. Last style we have to apply from L. So we have to get it from L. Now you can see it is going to apply them different. The first color is different and the last color is different. Even and odd occurrence is different. So when you are iterating any item, in the iterations, generally when you are doing some iterations, usually a item is repeating means its appearance will be same everywhere. So we have to apply different effects. So to keep the appearance in a good way. For that reason, generally we can use these odd and even. We have index, we have first, last, even and odd. These are the properties of ng-for. First, let's take an example. For properties dot component dot ts, in that we are just writing a logic to fetch the data. Okay, another one for properties dot component dot css. CSS is important because we designed those styles there. Copy that. And one more for properties dot component dot html. Here we designed a table. Let's apply the table, and there we declared and configured the class dynamically. This is the example. Now there is another property. There is another property in ng-for, that is track by. Why we need this property and how it works, I will show you one example. See, this is another track by, how to use the track by. I will tell you the situation here. Means why we need track by. I will delete all this. Okay, I will clean up all this empty. Now I will tell you one simple example first. See, suppose generally what happens is we have some data. I have some records, some 1000 records are there. We can have some millions of records. Usually in real-time database, we will have millions of data. Now what we are doing, we are fetching this and we are displaying in the UI. In the UI we are displaying. For that what I am doing, I am writing a for, ng-for. By using ng-for we are reading. Now important is we are reading all the 1000 records and displaying all the 1000 here. 1 to 1000 we are displaying. That means how many times this iteration have to happen. How many times that iteration have to happen? 1000. Because 1000 times. Now what happened is, in this data, later what you done is, in this data, you changed some 800 record. You changed 801 record. Only one record you changed. That means some changes made in it. Some value changed or something. Now this change have to update. This change have to update in ng-for. Now the question is, will it iterate all 1000 again? Or it will update only the change that happened? Understood the question? Right? So will it perform all the iterations again? Or will it perform all the iterations again, or only the change? It will perform all iterations again. It will perform all iterations again. That means the 999 records which are not changing, all those records are generated again. Even to update a single change. That is not good. That is not good. That means it is iterating every time, even when the change is not happened. Even when change is not happened, that record is updated. You see now, let's prove this point. I have some products data. It is an array. It have name. Some name is TV, and it have price. This is our own data. Another we have name, we have mobile, and we have price. So we have some data. Okay. Like this, I have few records, 3 records, some watch and price and some price. Okay. I need to display these details. I am writing one more method, public, add new record. In that, we are accessing all this data, same data we are accessing. So what we have to do, this dot products, we are accessing all the data. In addition to that, one more I am adding. That means I have a name and I have some shoe and some price. That means one more record I am adding here. One more record I am adding. So from the previous data, because you are using some API, in that API, all data will be there. But you will be changing only one extra, you added one or something. But what you do in the UI here, I will put heading products and I will create a table and a class table and table hover. Here we have table row or table header, tr, th. Here we defined a name and we defined a price. In the table body, we will repeat the row. So ng for let item of collection. Collection is what? Products. And in the first cell, we have item dot name. In the next cell, we have item dot price. Item dot price. And we will add a button here. And I will give the button as add new. And on this button click, we will access this add new record method. Add new record method. We are accessing it. Now observe carefully here. I will inspect. And you can see in the inspect, we have the body section. In the body section, we have table. Yeah, table have T body. In the T body, 3 rows are there already. You observe these 3 rows once. You observe that. I click on add new button. When I click on add new button, only one record is extra added. Only one record is extra added. But observe carefully. That means only one row should be extra added. But observe this right side area. When I click on add new, it generates all again. It is generating all these again. Observe carefully. Now, after adding, no more records are being added. There is no change happening. You see, when I click add new, no more records are there to add. Then you see, still it is generating again. You click add new, it is again generating. Why you are iterating if there are no changes? It is burden to application. That means iteration should happen only when there is some change. Without any changes, if you try to update every time, it is always burden to application. We are not talking about 4 or 5 records. We are talking about millions records. Suppose you go to Google search and search for a topic. It will say that some millions results found. And all those million records should not load again and again every time. So this is the problem that we have with ng4. Every time it is iterating. We don't want like that to happen. We don't want like that to happen. Then what you can do is, we can use the concept called track by. What is track by is, it will tell the for whether change happened or not. And what for can do is, it can iterate only when change occurred. And not only that, it can add only the item that is changed. It will not iterate the other items which are not changed. It will keep them normal. It will iterate only the item that is changed. And it will perform iteration only when changes occurred. That is track by. Without track by, you saw the problem. Without track by, you saw the problem. What is happening? I click this button. There is no change happening, but it is added. Iteration is happening again and again. So we will do one thing now. Let's go. How to use track by? First we have to write a method. Public track changes. That is the method. How do we know any change occurred? How do we know where change occurred? So how do we know any change occurred or not? We can know whether the change occurred, where the change occurred, by accessing its index numbers. If a new record is added, index number will change. If record is deleted, index number will change. If you modified, the index will update. That means who is the source? Index. So we will declare here an index property, which is a number type. Understood? And this track changes have to return the index where change occurred. It should return the change where change occurred. So track changes is a method which will get the index number of changed element, and it will return that and give it to for. What for will do? It will perform iteration only on that index. It will do on in that index. So now, very important, as I given in the definition here, track by is a function pointer, is not a function caller. Function calling is different, function pointing is different. It is a function pointer, not a function calling. Generally, if it is a function calling, then we give function name like this. If it is a function pointer, then we give like this. This is pointer. This is pointing towards the function. This is calling the function. So track by is not calling the function. Track by is pointing towards the function. So what we have to do is, in this iteration, now let's go here. In this iteration, we have to declare a property track by. And track by colon, it uses a function pointer, function name. So what is the function name? Track changes. That is the function name. That's it. You should not use parenthesis because it is not calling function. It is pointing towards that function. Now what happens is, what this track by can do is, it can identify is any change happening in the records. If any change happened in the records, where that change happened, it will return it. So what track by can do, it can identify change and it can return the change to the for. What for will do? It will iterate only that. It will not iterate others. Let's check. I will do one more thing. Here, every time when user clicks this add record, I will put an alert. So alert is nothing but add clicked. That message I will give so that you can see that I am clicking that button again and again. So see now, observe carefully this time. Observe carefully this table body section. See now, carefully see, 3 rows are already there. I click on add new. You can see it says add clicked. Okay, observe carefully. Only the last one is added. All items are not repeating. Let's do one more time. Click again. Is there any change happened? No change happened. So add is clicked. Click OK. Nothing happening. It is not iterating. You have seen previously when I remove the track by, it will be repeating again. You click on add new, say OK, it is not repeating. Remove this track by now. Let's remove this track by. I will remove the track by. After removing the track by, let's check one more time here. You check in the table body, you have 3 rows. You click on add. Okay, all are generated again. You click add again, again generated. You click again, again generated. That is not good for application. So better what you can do, you can use an track by. Track by uses a function that verifies where the change occurred or whether the change occurred or not, and it will update only the changes. That is very important, especially while working with these tables, millions of records. Because when it actually, that you can observe, you see in Google, suppose we are using a Google search. In Google search, I am searching for images, angular images I am searching. Observe, millions of images came. When I am scrolling down, new images are loading, am I right? But what about above images? Are they loading again? The above images are not loading again. Only the bottom images are loading new. These images already ready. That means to add new images, it will not load the old images again. It will load only new. That is what advantage. This mechanism is called lazy loading. Lazy loading. Actually, to implement like this, a Java.NET developer have to write a very lengthy logic. If you are learning Java.NET like technologies, they will teach you how to implement lazy loading. Because without lazy loading, you cannot have a Java or .NET application in real time. Compulsory, mandatory, that every Java.NET application uses lazy loading technique. It's a mandatory basic thing actually. Your technologies will teach you how to implement lazy loading. That means how to handle that in Java, how to handle that in .NET, your technologies will teach you. What is lazy loading? Heard about it? What is lazy loading? Lazy loading is a software design pattern. And what is that software design pattern? It will create an object only when it is necessary. Lazy loading is a technique where object is initialized only when it is required. That is lazy loading. It will eager loading. Opposite to lazy loading is eager loading. That means object is created and it is loaded even you are not using it. That means object need to be created and loaded only when it is needed, only when it is used. That is lazy loading. Here it is a framework. In a framework, all are implemented for you. You just need to use them in a simple way. In a language, you have to write. Suppose you are learning a language. In a language, you have to learn Java, .NET languages. You have to learn manually how to write the logic for lazy loading. But in a framework, it is a built-in library. You have to just use the ready-made libraries available. So track-by is implementing lazy loading. We don't need to write track-by. We need to just use track-by. You are not writing track-by. You are just using it. It is already designed for you. So this is a very important point, how we can understand the track-by option. Example same. What is it? Component TS file. In component TS file, just we have our own data. Understood? Okay. Another one, component HTML file. Component name you can give anything. I'm just giving HTML file and TS files. And this is very important how to handle. And remember, it is not function calling. It is function pointing towards that function. So this is how we can work with ng for. So this is the complete summary for the device for what is that structural directives. What are the structural directives? So we have the structural directives ng if, ng switch, and ng for. These are the options. These are structural directives. Another important, in Angular, we have attribute directives. We have attribute directives. Attribute directives we have two. One is ng class. Another one is ng style. Attribute directives we have ng class and ng style. What is the purpose is nothing but we have one more ng model. I already discussed about it. Ng model is for model binding. What is the purpose of ng model? It makes the element dynamic so that you can store its value and use the value anywhere you want. That's already we learned. What is ng class and ng style? We can apply the classes and styles dynamically. Just you saw now. In the previous example, you saw how we can apply the styles dynamically. Here, I will show you another real-time scenario where we use this. How we can apply the classes and how we can define the classes dynamically. Let's see. For example, I will create, means what is the purpose of this ng class? So ng class is nothing but it is used to apply CSS classes dynamically to any HTML element. What is advantage? You can change the class. You can change the class according to state and situation. According to the state and situation, you can change the class. Generally, classes we can apply directly by using class. But what is the advantage of using ng class? You can change dynamically. Actually, ng class have a lot of reference methods. So that means it provides 3 reference methods. One is string, another one is array, another one is object. Reference methods means actually we have a ng class and string means you can apply directly like this class name, that is string. That means it is used to apply a single class. If you want to apply any one class, then you use a string reference. If you want to apply multiple classes, then we have to use ng class. If you want to apply multiple classes, you have to use an array reference here. In the array of string type, this is class 1 and comma, it is class 2, like this you can give. This is applying more than one class. If you want to apply multiple class, suppose you want to turn on and off the classes, on class, off class, then we have to use ng class. We have to use an object reference. This object reference is to turn on and off the class. That means it uses class name and colon, it will use a true or false, which you have seen just now. What is the reference we have used now in our example table, even, odd? What is that we have used? We used an object style. Object means you can on the class, you can off. So depending on the situation, you can on and off the classes and display them. So I will show you in a validation concept also how to use them. Let's see how to work with this. Remember, you can use any of these three styles. If you are applying a single class, use string. Multiple classes, use this array. Only one class, but you turn on and off them. Situation. Multiple classes, you can turn on 2 classes, 3 classes, off them. On and off the classes, you have to use this boolean. We have an object where you have to mention the class name and true or false. Let's see first this style. That means multiple classes, how to apply. Array type. That means actually array type is nothing but, suppose you see, to understand array type, single or multiple you can apply. Yeah, you see I am creating some classes, CSS classes. One is border style. We have border 2 pixel solid red color. Okay. Another BG style. We will put background color some yellow. And we have text style. Color we will put red like this. Padding we will put as 10 pixel like this we given. Now we have 3 classes available. See what I am doing here. I am writing here define CSS classes. Now here I will put a check text box. Input type is equal to text. Class as form control. And in that I will put a placeholder. I will put easy example. I will say back style. So BG style. So border style and text style. Like this I will give. Actually, it is going to show like this. That is the placeholder. Huh? This is the placeholder. We are asking them to type this. We are asking them to type this. And below this, I will put another heading. I will put sample text. Now, whatever they type inside this text box, I hope you learned in HTML, JavaScript, what is the data type of text box? Data type of text box is a string array, not string. It is a string array. When you type text, you will not type a single word. You can type multiple words. If you put a space and separate the word, it becomes a string array actually. What is the data type of text box? It is a string array. So it is returning an array. So what we will do here, we will simply define ng class We have to accept this here. Now, whatever entered in text box, we need to collect here. Then how to do that? You see, first I will show you general. General means, you see, I will put a single quote. This is for string reference. Here I will say BG style. That means only background style will be applied. That is string reference. I will keep here class as margin top 3. Suppose down, okay, like this. So you can see I am applying only one class. If I want to apply multiple classes, use a square brace, BG style, and I say text style. Then you can see both will be applied. But I don't want like that. So I want to get that. I want to get that from a text box. Am I right? Then what you can do is how to collect the value from text box. We know already ng model name. So name is styles. So or we will say fx and hash fx is equal to ng model. This fx we will apply here. Okay, it is an array now. Understood? Because it is coming from a text box, it is an array. You see now here, you can type the styles names. What is the style? First I will give border style. That should apply here. But you know that this fx is a text box. We have to use its value na? Text box value. Okay. Now you see here, I am typing border style. You see, it applies it. I am using a space. It is in string array now. I am writing text style. It will apply. I am applying BG style. It will apply. I will put here text center. It will apply. But I haven't written text center class. But that is working because it is a bootstrap class. Bootstrap class. Bootstrap classes also works directly because they are class names. So I am giving here suppose BG danger like this. I am giving text white. It will work. We can apply the classes dynamically. This is very important to handle validations actually. Later you will learn. Later we will discuss about validations. When we discuss about validations, we will implement this there. Validation means you have seen already. You are typing something in a registration form and you are not typing correctly. It will show in red color. Once you entered correct, it will change to green. That means dynamically it is changing the appearance. That is through dynamic styles. Through dynamic styles we can apply. That means that is what actually class binding. Now people call this as it is often known as class binding, right? People call this as class binding, but actually it comes under a category of attribute directives. Under attribute directives, you will learn how to apply classes. This is very important not only for validation in so many ways. For example, see, this is example. I will give this example here. Everything you design in UI level. That means dot component dot what? HTML. In HTML we have this and component dot CSS. Na? In CSS we have to write the effects. We have to write these effects so that we can apply them. This is one simple example for that. Now here you have seen two things. You have seen how to use a string, how to use an array. Object also we learned previously, but one more time I will show you here. See how to use an object. See, let's create a container. So class as deflex and justify content center. align items center, and style height as 400 pixels. Okay, in this we designed a form, and in that we put a heading. So user login. Here I am just adding a span, class bi and bi person fill, and below this we have a data list, data term, username, data definition, input type is equal to text, and the class form control. Like this we designed something. Data term password, it is just a design. Data definition, input type is equal to password, and class as form control, and we have a button. So class as btn and btn dark. This is login. Okay, we designed a simple form here. Like this we have designed. I will keep this as W100. That is the form we are having. Now in this form, for form I am just giving as class border, suppose say dark, and one more is padding 3. Okay, that will be fine, right? Border size I will give as 3. It will be in this way. So I just given here rounded, and rounded 3. Okay, and it will be in this way. Now this is a simple login screen we designed. Now see what I am doing here. In this login screen, in the form, here I am adding a container. Okay, I will put a class as form switch. Here we will put input type is equal to checkbox, and the class as form check input, and here we will put a span. So class as form check label. Actually in that we designed here dark mode. I am writing like this, you see. So I have an option called dark mode, right? I have an option called dark mode here. This is dark mode. Now what is the point is, when I turn on this dark mode, this login form should change to dark mode. Some color theme I want to apply, right? I need to apply some color theme here. I need to define that. Then see what I am doing here is I will simply go to the properties here. I will write here a class, and the class name is dark theme. Dark theme class have a background color as black, color as white. That is the background theme. Now what should happen here is we will go to the properties form here. I want to apply the theme to this entire form. That means I will just put here the form ng class, and I am using an object style because we need to on and off the theme. And what is the theme name? Dark theme. Whether to on or off, that depends on this checkbox. How to collect the checkbox checked property? We have to define model, and I will give name as a theme. Hash theme is equal to ng model. Here I need to apply that theme dot value. That means if it is true, that means if checkbox is checked, then dark theme will apply. Now you see here, I turn on this, the theme will apply. I turn off this, then it will be normal. That means we can turn on and dark theme will be there. And I remove, then it will be again normal. It will be changing the appearance. You can change appearance of everybody. You can change appearance of button. That means actually the button is having dark. We can apply here as ng class. Here we apply an option. What is it? btn and btn light. btn light. When it should apply these classes, it should apply when dark theme is on. That means what we have to do, theme dot value. We have to get that here. That means when you see here and actually also the appearance, you see now I turn on, it changes the appearance. It's your wish. Light will apply when mouse is over it. Turn off, it will be again normal. You can change the appearance how you want, depending on your requirement. You can apply these effects. That means this is single or multiple. Suppose we have btn light, you can see it will apply that and it will display. You have background light, background primary. Light is very simple. It is like this. You can change the complete appearance like background danger, but accordingly you have to change the effects, right? That means because you are using black and white, these are not suitable. Which one is suitable? White. So depending on what effects you are configuring, it will change that and display. This is dynamically changing the appearance of your entire container. You can change complete page. You can change complete page. I am applying to only form, right? So you can apply to this entire container. And understood? This entire container can use ng class, and it can use here, what is it? Dark theme. It can use dark theme. It gets the value from the checkbox. That is theme dot value. It will get from there. That means I am applying to entire. You can apply to entire page, right? We can apply to entire page. It's not like you are applying to that only specific location. This is actually we call as class binding. Means how we can bind the classes and configure the class. This is enough. This is enough to understand how you bind. But later you can verify while user is typing inside. When user is typing, we can verify is it valid or not. Based on that, we can put red, green like appearances. That we can do. Later you will do. Because for that we need to learn forms and form validations. If we know form and form validations, then we can easily apply that. Right? So this is one simple concept of configuring the colors. This is another example. Here nothing to do with TS file. Only we have component.css. In the CSS we added only this dark theme, and we have component.html. In the HTML we designed this login screen where we can apply that effect, right? That is actually class binding. Now there is another important directive, ng style. ng style is nothing but it is used to bind inline styles. I hope you already learned in CSS. We have class and we have style. What is difference? Both will apply effects. What is difference between class and style? Class is explicit. You have to create outside, access from outside and apply. That will be burden for page, because you have to maintain a separate file From there you need to access. Styles are inline. You write directly inside. But what is bad about styles, inline style? You cannot reuse. If I want to use somewhere else, I cannot use. It will be only for that element. So if you don't want to reuse, if you want to apply only for specific, then you can go with style. If you want to reuse across the request, then better go with the class. So in CSS, we can apply styles inline, you can apply styles embedded, you can apply styles external style sheets, you have class, you have style. Now, how to define that? That means dynamically, you can apply inline styles dynamically. You can apply dynamically the inline styles. That is advantage. How it works, I will show you. For example, see. Let's take another example, how to apply the inline styles. I will do one thing. I will open our file explorer. I will keep a picture in all the pictures are kept in which folder? Assets. We will go to assets folder. Here we will put one picture. Suppose in my computer, I have some image. Okay, I have an image. I will apply that image. Okay, some flag. You can see there is a flag image. It's a GIF file actually. Now what I am doing here, I am designing simply here I am creating a container. This container height, I will give style height as some 1000 pixels. Below that, I will keep an image. Image source is, it is assets / flag.gif. The concept width is 50, height also 50. Actually, we given this, what is the intention of this? Intention of this is nothing but, let's keep all of this in another div, okay? That is that. What is the intention of this concept is actually, it is simple. Generally, what I done here is, we designed actual our page in HTML, our page height will be how much? 768 pixels. That is the height of page. In that, what I have done, I kept a div. How much height div? 1000. Under that 1000, we kept an image. So whenever I open the page, I can't see that image because it is present somewhere bottom. I have to scroll down in order to see it. So it is somewhere not visible directly. You see it is not visible. I opened the page, picture is not visible. Where is the picture? Scroll down, somewhere bottom is there. Somewhere bottom, the picture is there. Right? Now what I am doing here, I am doing a simple logic here. In the div, the main div, I will write an event, mouse move. Mouse move means when user is moving the mouse. When user is moving the mouse, I will call get position. There is a function, method. Into that method, we need to send the mouse position. We can send through event argument. We have to use $event. Now I have to write this method. Go to TS file. We have to write the method. Let's write it. I will delete all this logic which is not required. Yeah. Now see what we are doing is, here we will first create an object, style object. This style object is an any type object. This object contains properties like position. Position is empty. It contains left. Left is also empty. It contains top. Top is also empty. These are the options we created in a style object. Now what should happen is when user is moving the mouse, get position method public, get position method, position method. This get position method will collect the event which is an any type, which is an object type. And what it will do is it will access this style object. I will access that this dot style object. In that, what properties we have? Position. Position is, I will keep it as fixed. In CSS, you know, 5 positions are there: fixed, static, relative, sticky. Am I right? Absolute. What is fixed position means? It removes the element from that location. After removing the element from the location, you have to tell where to keep left, top, left, right, top, bottom, where to keep. So, fixed position, left, what? Left is nothing but if suppose we are using mouse pointer, left is nothing but actually left is x-axis position. Left is x-axis position. Top is y-axis position. We have to get x-axis position of mouse and apply as left. How to get x-axis position of mouse? We can get by using E. E dot client X. In JavaScript, we have client X to get x-axis position. And we will apply pixels. Similarly, top is E dot client Y plus what? Pixels. That means when user is moving the mouse, it will get the mouse position and it will apply to this style object. Now this position we want to apply to this image. That means now this image uses what is it? ng style. What is, from where it will come from? Style object. Now see what happens. When user is moving the mouse, it will move along the mouse. It is moving along the mouse. That means the image position is changing along with the mouse position. Right? So this generally we do in JavaScript. It is JavaScript program only. In Angular, the way of presenting has changed. Little simple. In JavaScript, you have to write lengthy program. Here we have to just bind with ng style. By using ng style, we have to bind. That means we need to create an object. So what is the logic behind this? When mouse is moving, get its position, apply to image. That means the mouse position is applied to image, means image will be along with the mouse. When you are moving, the image will be along with the mouse. That is actually style. Why we used ng style? Because we want only for this element. We don't want to use for any another element. We want only for this. If you write a separate CSS, bring it and use it, it's a very lengthy and it is number of requests increasing. So we use class binding only when we want to reuse it. We use style binding only when you want to apply to a specific element. That is dynamically changing. For that we have to use this style binding. Same example here, component.ts. In the TS file, we are adding this position. This is getting the X and Y axis position and applying to left and top of object. Position fixed means it will be removed from the document and it will be kept along with the mouse. So this is very important. So this is general CSS positions. So we have component.html. In HTML, we have to add this logic. We call this concept as style binding. We have class binding, another one style. So these are all attribute directives. How do we work with the attribute directives? So two types of directives, structural directives and attribute directives. So once you know these attribute directives, now we will see how to work with another concept, event binding. So we learned few things up to now. What are those? We learned about data binding, am I right? We learned about class binding. We learned about style binding. Now there is another concept called event binding. Already we used some events like click, like change, like mouse move, but you should know what are the various events used in real world development, where they are used, and how to use the event bindings. That we will see in next session. Monday we will see that, okay? In Monday session, we will discuss several other examples using various events, how events are used, okay? Right.